Good morning, everyone. I am Abigail Kiribadzomia, together with my group, and we are here to discuss the SDG 11, which is the Sustainable Cities and Communities. Sustainable Cities and Communities is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015. The official mission of SDG 11 is to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. As we all know, the world's population is constantly increasing, and to accommodate everyone, we need to build modern, sustainable cities for all of us to survive and prosper. We need new, intelligent urban planning that creates safe, affordable, and resilient cities with green and culturally inspiring living conditions. Here are the contents of our presentation. Overview of the goal, world status in achieving the goal, Philippine action participation programs toward this goal, Kari City's problem relevant to this goal, and lastly, our group's proposed solution to this problem to help achieve this goal in the local context. And before we start our discussion, let me first introduce our group members, Rona May Satorno, Elmer Salem, and Abigail Ribadzomia. Overview of the goal. SDG 11, which is the Sustainable Cities and Communities, aims to renew and plan cities and other human settlements in a way that offers opportunities for all, with access to basic services, energy, housing, transportation, and green public spaces, while reducing resource use and environmental impact. SDG 11 has 10 targets. The first one is safe and affordable housing, followed by affordable and sustainable transport system, inclusive and sustainable urbanization, protect the world's cultural and natural heritage, reduce the adverse effects of natural disasters, reduce the environmental impact of cities, provide access to safe and inclusive green and public space, strong national and regional development planning, implement policies for inclusion, resource efficiency, and disaster risk reduction, and lastly, support least developed countries in sustainable and resilient building. World status in achieving the goal.
World status in achieving the goal. By 2030, ensure access for all to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. By 2030, provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all, improving road safety notably by expanding public transport with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, like women, children, persons with disabilities, and other older persons. By 2030, enhance inclusive and sustainable urbanization and capacity for participatory, integrated, and sustainable human settlement planning and management in all countries. Strengthen efforts to protect and safeguard the world's cultural and natural heritage. By 2030, significantly reduce the number of deaths and the number of people affected and substantially decrease the direct economic losses relative to global gross domestic product caused by disasters, including water-related disasters with a focus on protecting the poor and people in vulnerable situations. By 2030, reduce the adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, including by paying special attention to air quality and municipal and other waste management. By 2030, provide universal access to safe, inclusive, and accessible green and public spaces, in particular for women and children, older persons, and persons with disabilities. Support positive economic, social, and environmental links between urban, peri-urban, and rural areas by strengthening national and regional development planning. By 2030, substantially increase the number of cities and human settlements adopting and implementing integrated policies and plans towards inclusion, resource efficiency, mitigation and adaptation to climate change, resilience to disasters, and develop and implement in line with the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015 to 2023. Holistic disaster risk management at all levels. Support least developed countries, including through financial and technical assistance in building sustainable and resilient buildings utilizing local materials.
Philippine Action Participation Program towards this goal.
Philippine Action/Participation/Program towards the goal. The Philippines has taken several actions and implemented various programs towards achieving the goal of sustainable cities and communities. Here are some key actions and programs. NFSUD, or National Framework for Sustainable Urban Development, developed by the Philippine government, promotes inclusive, resilient cities via integrated planning, effective land use, and enhanced governance. The Sustainable Cities and Municipalities Program, or the SCMP, provides technical assistance, capacity building, and finance for green infrastructure projects to help local government entities in implementing sustainable practices. Through the BERDE, Building for Ecologically Responsive Design Excellence grading system, the Philippine Green Building Council supports green building techniques with a focus on energy efficiency, water conservation, waste management, and interior environmental quality. The Philippine government invests in public transportation infrastructure including Metro Manila subway, bus rapid transit, and light rail transit extensions to improve mobility and lessen traffic congestion. Given the country's vulnerability to disaster caused by nature, a number of programs aim to improve disaster resilience in cities. The National Resilience Council collaborates with LGUs to create risk reduction strategies, disaster early warning systems, and resilient infrastructure. Community-based programs. A number of grassroots initiatives in the community support sustainable practices. For instance, Bulacan's Gawad Kalinga's Enchanted Farms showcases sustainable agricultural methods while giving impoverished populations possibilities for employment. Waste management. The Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, which encourages trash segregation, recycling, and composting, has been implemented into action in the Philippines. LGUs have been urged to launch waste reduction initiatives and materials recovery facilities, or MRFs. Urban renewal and slum upgrading, the government implemented programs to make slum areas better and offer cheap housing options.
Cadiz City's problem relevant to this goal. In Cadiz City, Negros Occidental, there are several problems that are relevant to the goal of sustainable cities and communities. Here are some key issues. Number 1, inadequate waste management. Number 2, limited economic opportunities. Number 3, growing population. Number 4, vulnerability to natural disasters. Our groups propose solution to this problem to help achieve this goal in the local context. Inadequate waste management. Proper waste management is essential for sustainable cities. However, Cadiz City faces challenges in waste collection, disposal, and recycling. Inadequate waste management practices can lead to environmental pollution, health risks, and the degradation of natural resources. Next, limited economic opportunities. Sustainable cities requires vibrant economies that provide opportunities for all residents. However, some areas in Cadiz City may face limited economic opportunities and high unemployment rates. Promoting economic growth and diversification can help create sustainable livelihoods for their community. Next, growing population. In growing population, we need to plan and implement urban expansion strategies that accommodate the growing population. First, invest in education and family planning programs to help manage population growth. Second, government must offer a quality education to all. Third, develop affordable housing options to prevent overcrowding and homelessness. Next, vulnerability to natural disasters. Cadiz City is prone to natural disasters such as typhoons and flooding. enhancing disaster resilience through proper urban planning, early warning systems, and infrastructure development is crucial for protecting the city and its residents. Addressing these problems requires a comprehensive approach that involves collaboration between the local government, community organization, and residents. It involves implementing sustainable urban planning practices, improving infrastructure, promoting waste management initiatives, and fostering economic opportunities for all residents.
And that's all for our final presentation. Hope you got some learning today. Thank you and God bless.